The fantasy playoffs are here, so we're going to go over all the ins and outs for Week 14, coming right up. And welcome to the Gridiron Fantasy Football YouTube channel for Saturday, December 12th, 2020. And I'm Chip, I'm the host of the Gridiron Fantasy Football Podcast, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about all of the ins and outs for Week 14 and all the players that you can try to pivot to help you win a game, to get you to the fantasy championship. And before I do that, though, I want to kind of talk about what's going on. If you're a subscriber on YouTube and you're watching me on YouTube and you have not seen the last couple of videos, like I usually do, on Mondays I do my reactions, then Tuesdays the waiver wire pickup. Then on Thursday, I do my Thursday night football preview, and then Friday I drop all of my ins and outs and all my starts and sits for each week. And you've noticed I have not had videos posted, and that's because I'm having some video production problems. The audio is still there, so if you want to listen to the podcast, that's available on all the platforms. But unfortunately, with YouTube right now, it's very hard to figure out kind of what's going on with my video production stuff. So I'm able to shoot the video, but unfortunately I'm having some uploading issues. The video doesn't download completely. Halfway through the video, it just completely goes black. So I'm trying to figure out all that stuff. And I do this all on my own, so I'm trying to figure out all that stuff as I go. And unfortunately, it's just not happening. I can't figure it out. So the audio version of all the YouTube videos and the podcast are on all the podcast platforms. Just so you know, I'm not missing any of the content, but it's just not come up on YouTube right now. So I'm trying to figure it out. So please bear with me. I know this is very important weeks coming because of all the fantasy playoffs and all the implications, but I just want you to know that that's the reason why I'm not seeing as many videos, because for some reason, the longer videos don't make it on YouTube. Not sure why. I have a glitch going on. I'm just trying to figure it out. So thank you for understanding that. But I just want to let you know I have not forgotten about those podcasts that I dropped. Just please listen to them other than watching them. So my apologies. But let's go into all of the ins and outs for Week 14. And let's start with the players that are in. So right now, we know that Daniel Jones should be playing. He was out with a hamstring injury. Colt McCoy took his place, but it looks like he's good to go for Sunday. Running backs, James Robinson, he's going to be in. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's going to play. Todd Gurley's in. Latavius Murray, he should be playing on Sunday. Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde are going to be available on Sunday as well. At wide receiver, Tyreek Hill was dealing with an illness. He should be good to go for Sunday. A.J. Brown, he injured his ankle last Sunday and he missed some practice, but it looks like he's good to go as well. We have Curtis Samuel. He just got activated off the COVID-19 list, so he's good. And then Deebo Samuel, he's going to play as well. And at tight end, we got Jonnu Smith. So, he missed last week. Now he's back. So those are all the players that we know for sure that are in for Week 14. Now, all the players that are out, start at the running back position. Christian McCaffrey, he's dealing with another ailment, and he's going to be out for Week 14. So Mike Davis, obviously the guy that you pivot to. It's unfortunate. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to get shut down for the season. There's too many, lingering issues with his injuries that I feel like he just needs to shut it down. I mean, that's just my opinion from a physical therapist standpoint, from like my actual medical knowledge and everything and my background. I think that why risk further injury when this is your franchise? So that's just me, in my opinion. But I think that he could play. He could still be available for you in in Week 15, Week 16. But as of right now, he's out for Week 14. And then Joe Mixon, obviously he's continuing to be out. So obviously Giovanni Bernard is the guy that you're going to pivot to with that one. David Johnson, he is out due to COVID-19. If you need somebody to pivot to, Duke Johnson's the guy that you would pivot to in his absence. Antonio Gibson, now he's dealing with injury, so he's out for Week 14. So the guy that I would lean to is J.D. McKissic. He's been, we saw what he did when Antonio Gibson got hurt. He was able to put up about 17.5 PPR points. So I think he's a good running back too and flex depending on your roster structure. But that's who you're going to pivot to. Now Myles Gaskin, he's going to be out. So he's dealing with COVID too, and there's a chance that he doesn't play in Week 15 as well. So if that's the case, you pivot to DeAndre Washington. So just a lot of players that you rely on for your fantasy playoffs are going to be out. And then obviously Alexander Madison, he's going to be out. He's had an appendectomy, so with that being the case, he needs a couple more weeks to recover. So I think that he should be available. Hopefully Dalvin Cook does not go down, but there's a chance that Alexander Madison could play in Week 15 if he has to play if Dalvin Cook goes down. Then at wide receiver, Kenny Galladay, he's out. He's been dealing with a hip injury for majority of the season. He will not be available. Julio Jones will be out for Week 14 as well. So obviously with Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones is the pivot. Julio Jones, I mean, Calvin Ridley's the guy that you would want, but obviously he's going to be he's a top 5 receiver, so there's no way to pivot to him. But that's only if you have Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley on this same roster. And then DJ Moore, he's out. He's dealing with the ankle injury. Then he's out from COVID as well. So that makes Curtis Samuel's value go up a little bit more. I think that the uptick for Robbie Anderson, for Curtis Samuel, Mike Davis, I think that's going to be beneficial for them. But DJ Moore will be out. And then Denzel Mims is dealing with a personal issue, so he will not be available for the Jets. So that makes certain that you can pivot to Brashad Perriman in his absence. So those are the receivers that are out. And at tight end, Kyle Rudolph will be out. It looks like Irv Smith Jr., he's been dealing with a groin injury. He should be okay to go on Sunday. So if I needed a tight end, he may be the guy that I'm going to pivot to. But right now we're still, Irv Smith Jr. is still questionable. And now going to the questionable / probable players at running back, Josh Jacobs. I feel like he should be good to go, but I think he's going to test out his injury during pregame and see how he feels. If not, Devontae Booker is the pivot. Same for DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is dealing with, he was dealing with a concussion, then he's dealing with the illness. He's questionable for Sunday as well. If not, Adrian Pearson is the pivot for him. And then Kenyon Drake, he's questionable. Seems like he should be good to go, but if not, then Chase Edmonds is the guy that you pivot to with that guy. And then Ezekiel Elliott, he's dealing with a calf injury. So Tony Pollard will be the guy that you would pivot to for him if he's available. Frank Gore, he's going through the concussion protocol. Should be available, but if not, Ty Johnson will be the guy who get the majority of the workload. And that wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins popped up on the injury report. He's not going to miss any time. He's going to be good to go. Brandon Cooks and Kiki QT are dealing with some minor ailments. They're going to be good to go. And then Jameson Crowder, same with him. And then T. Higgins. So T. Higgins, he was limited in practice, but he should be good to go for Sunday. And then I just mentioned tight end Irv Smith Jr. He's a guy that he's still dealing with some type of soft tissue injury to his groin. So if that's the case, there's a chance that he could miss the game against the Bucs, but I feel like he is trending towards playing on Sunday. So as of right now, there hasn't been any new word about if he's going to be out or not, but it looks like he's trending towards playing. And then when it comes to the game time decision / doubtful players, the only player I have on this list is Austin Hooper. He popped up on the injury report with a neck injury. This could be a chance that he misses time. If he does miss this game on Monday night, then your pivot's going to be either Harrison Bryant or David Njoku. I don't know, but it looks like that this could be Austin Hooper. I mean, it's a tough matchup. Like I said, tight ends are very hard. You want a guy hard to come by, and you really need somebody who gets enough targets. So he hasn't really done the same things he did before he got injured. He was kind of on a hot streak before he got injured, and then he's came back and he hasn't really done as what he did before he got injured. So the first time with his surgery, so he may not be available, but just pivot just in case you need to do so on Sunday. And that's the thing too. He's on a Monday night game, so if you have Austin Hooper and you're going to wait and play him, then you need to pivot. You're going to have to use one of the tight ends that the Browns have, or you're kind of screwed. So I think that you need to try to make a pickup somewhere else, just so you have a tight end that's going to be active for your roster for your first week of the playoffs. But that is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any injury questions, you have any start-sit questions, please leave a comment below, or you can email me at chip@gridironfantasyfootball.com. And like I said, on every Monday, I do all my weekly reactions and fantasy studs for the week. Now, like I said, if you don't see it on YouTube, I try to upload it every single week or every podcast on YouTube, and unfortunately, it's kind of scattered on which ones does get uploaded completely. So with that being the case, always look up the podcast if you want to listen to that episode. But that is it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on Monday on the podcast. Good luck. This is it. It's, win or go home. So good luck in your week 14 matchups, and hopefully you get to move on to week 15. Take care.